Welcome, the rare gems. Have you ever paused to think about what your hair truly represents? Not just how it looks in the mirror or how others may see it, but what it is quietly saying about who you are. Hair is often treated as something external, something to style, cut, color, or change. But for you, it is much deeper than that. It is a living reflection of your journey, your spirit, and the unseen strength you carry within. Every strand tells a story. It remembers the seasons you have walked through. It responds to your health, your emotions, and even the environments you step into. It shifts when you shift. It grows when you are ready for new beginnings, and it sheds when you are being prepared to release old chapters. Your hair is more than appearance. It is part of your identity and a quiet archive of your truth. This is why it is not strange that people notice it, admire it, or even try to control it. On some level, they sense that your hair holds something sacred. It is not just style that draws attention. It is the light, the codes, and the authority that come with it. So as we explore this topic, remind yourself of this. Your hair is not a decoration. It is a crown, a messenger, and a part of your divine design. Learning to embrace it is also learning to embrace yourself fully. Let's dive into it, the rare gems. Number 1. Your hair is a spiritual antenna. It picks up frequencies and holds memory, which is why certain environments affect it more than others. This is not just about science or biology. It is about something deeper, something that connects you to the unseen. Think about the times you have left a room feeling heavy, even though nothing bad was said. Your body might have walked out, but your hair carried traces of that atmosphere, holding on to the energy you absorbed. Hair is like a sponge for energy. Just as fabric holds onto the smell of smoke after a fire, your hair holds onto experiences. That is why, when you spend time around calm, uplifting people, your hair almost feels lighter and easier to handle. But when you are surrounded by negativity or chaos, it feels dull, tangled, and stubborn, as though it is carrying the weight of that environment. Many cultures understood this long before modern science. Warriors kept their hair long as a way to heighten awareness. Spiritual leaders covered theirs to protect from unwanted energies. Even today, you might notice how washing or braiding your hair after a stressful day feels like pressing a reset button. It is not just grooming, it is cleansing. Think about moments when you cut your hair after a tough season in life. It felt like more than a style change. It felt like release, as if those strands carried the memories of pain, and by letting them fall away, you made space for renewal. That is the spiritual language of your hair. So treat it with care. Understand that it is not only about how it looks, but about what it holds. Your hair is more than strands. It is a living antenna that connects you to both memory and energy, reminding you to be mindful of where you place yourself and who you allow into your space. Number 2. It refuses to hide its truth. You can try to force it into styles that are not natural to its essence, but it will always fight to return to its original state. That is the quiet honesty of your hair. It will allow you to stretch it, curl it, flatten it, or twist it into something temporary, but the moment the products wash out or the heat fades away, it begins to move back to the pattern it was born with. This simple act says more about life than most people realize. Think about how often society pressures us to fit into molds. People are told to act a certain way to be accepted, to tone down their voice, or to hide their personality so they can be more likable. For a while, they may manage to bend and conform, just like hair held in a temporary style. But eventually, their true self pushes through. Just like your hair, authenticity always returns because truth cannot be buried forever. Imagine a woman with naturally curly hair spending hours straightening it. By the end of the day, the curls begin to appear at the roots, stubborn and unapologetic. That same principle applies to your spirit. No matter how much pressure is placed on you to become someone else, your essence will fight its way back to the surface. This is why your hair is a teacher. It shows you that authenticity is not something you choose once. It is a constant process of returning to yourself. Even when you are pulled in different directions, you are reminded that what is natural to you will never fully disappear. So the next time you look at your hair springing back to its true form, see it as more than a physical trait. It is proof that your truth is stronger than any disguise, and no amount of outside force can erase what was always meant to be. Number 3. When people touch your hair without permission, they are stealing energy. They may not even realize it consciously, but the exchange is very real. Hair is not just something that grows out of your scalp. It is part of your energetic field, a sensitive extension of you. The moment someone touches it, they step across a boundary and take something that was never theirs to begin with. Think about how you feel when a stranger brushes against you in a crowded place. Even if nothing harmful was intended, you still notice it. Now imagine someone running their hands through your hair without asking. It feels invasive because hair holds more than texture. It carries memory, energy, and essence. To touch it without permission is to bypass the invisible walls that protect you. This is why certain moments leave you unsettled. You may laugh it off when a friend or colleague casually grabs a strand, but later you notice you feel strangely drained. That is because hair absorbs and transmits energy, and when others interfere without respect, they take a piece of what sustains you. Cultures across the world have always understood this. Some tribes believed hair was the keeper of spiritual power, while others covered their heads in sacred spaces to protect it. Even today you might find yourself instinctively pulling away when someone reaches for your hair. That instinct is not rudeness. It is your spirit recognizing a boundary that must not be crossed. Your hair deserves the same respect as your voice, your time, and your personal space. When you allow someone to touch it, it should be a choice, not an assumption. Protecting that boundary is not just about physical comfort. It is about honoring your energy and refusing to let anyone take what is not theirs to hold. Number 4. Your hair reveals your health and spirit. If your body or soul is in distress, your hair will often be the first to send signals. It is easy to think of hair as something separate, like an accessory you style and manage, but in reality, it is a reflection of what is happening inside you. Think about the times when stress has weighed heavily on your shoulders. Sleep becomes harder, meals are rushed or skipped, and your mind feels unsettled. Slowly, you notice changes in your hair. It may lose its shine, feel brittle, or even begin to thin. These shifts are not random. They are warnings that your inner world is struggling and needs care. The same is true with emotional health. Grief, anxiety, and prolonged sadness often leave visible imprints on the hair. Just as the eyes are called windows to the soul, hair can act as a thread connecting your spirit to the outer world. When your spirit feels nourished and at peace, your hair reflects it. It feels fuller, stronger, and more alive. When the spirit feels heavy, hair carries that burden as well. Even small habits reveal themselves. A balanced diet rich in whole foods often shows in thicker, healthier strands, while poor nutrition weakens them. Long nights of restlessness often show up as dullness, while moments of joy and inner calm bring back natural vibrance. Hair is honest. It cannot be bribed by expensive products for long if the foundation beneath is neglected. This is why caring for your hair is not just about what you apply on the outside, but also about how you live on the inside. So listen to your hair. When it sends signals, It is not betraying you. It is protecting you by revealing what needs attention, urging you to care for both your body and your soul before the damage runs deeper. Number 5. When your hair changes, it marks a spiritual shift. Cutting, shedding, or sudden growth often happens when your soul is entering a new chapter. Hair does not just respond to external care. It mirrors the internal seasons of your life. Think about the moments when you decided to cut your hair after a difficult period. It felt like more than a style choice. It felt like release. Almost as if you were letting go of the weight of old memories, giving yourself permission to breathe again. That is not coincidence. That is your spirit guiding you toward renewal, and your hair becoming the physical symbol of that change. Shedding works in the same way. Many people notice increased hair loss during times of stress, grief, or transition. The body is releasing what no longer serves it, just as the soul is trying to lighten its load. It may feel alarming, but often it is part of a cleansing process, a quiet reminder that endings make space for beginnings. On the other side, there are times when hair grows rapidly and feels stronger than ever. This often aligns with periods of personal growth, peace, and alignment. When your mind and spirit are in harmony, the body responds with renewal, and hair becomes a living proof of that harmony. In everyday life, we often underestimate these signals. We look at hair changes as random, but in truth, they are spiritual markers. A new cut may represent freedom. Shedding may represent release. Growth may represent rebirth. So, pay attention. The shifts in your hair are not simply cosmetic. They are chapters written by your soul, showing you that transformation is taking place within. Your hair speaks in its own language, reminding you that you are always evolving, always moving into a new season of life. Number 6. Your hair is a silent prophet. It tells you when to rest, when to heal, and when to evolve, if you pay attention. Your hair is a silent prophet. It tells you when to rest, when to heal, and when to evolve, if you pay attention. Unlike words, it does not shout. It whispers through changes in texture, shine, strength, and growth, guiding you if you are willing to listen. Think about the times your hair suddenly felt weak or dull. You may have blamed weather, products, or routines, but often it was your body and spirit asking for rest. Just like your muscles ache after overwork, your hair reflects exhaustion when your system is drained. It is your prophet saying, slow down, recharge, and allow yourself to breathe. In the same way, your hair often speaks when healing is needed. Imagine going through a stressful chapter filled with emotional strain. You might notice more shedding than usual. That shedding is not betrayal. It is a prophecy of release, showing that what has been weighing on you internally is now being symbolically let go externally. It is your hair reminding you that healing is not always comfortable, but it is necessary. And then there are moments when hair grows stronger, fuller, and more vibrant than before. These are not random miracles. They are signs of evolution, the prophet within you announcing that you have stepped into alignment. Your inner world has shifted, and your hair reflects the growth you have embraced. This makes your hair more than appearance. It is a messenger, offering hints about your physical, emotional, and spiritual state. If you learn to read these signs, you stop treating hair changes as inconveniences and start treating them as revelations. So listen closely. Your hair is not silent after all. It is speaking with every strand, every shift, every change. It is guiding you toward rest, healing, and evolution, reminding you that transformation is written not just in your soul, but also on your crown. Number 7. The world notices your hair because it is a visible sign of the invisible truth. You were never meant to blend in, even down to the roots of your being. Hair is one of the first things people see, and without you saying a word, it announces something about you. It reveals your uniqueness in a way that clothes or accessories cannot. Clothes can be changed quickly, but hair carries a permanence that speaks of identity. Think about how a child is often recognized by the curl of their hair, or how someone who has not been seen for years is remembered by the shade or texture that made them stand out. Hair has always been a marker of individuality. It separates you from the crowd, telling the world that you are not here to vanish into the background. For a Sigma female, this is even more powerful. Your hair reflects your essence, whether it grows wild, flows long, is tightly coiled, or cut close to your head. It says you belong to yourself. It declares that your spirit was not designed to conform. Even in environments where everything pushes people to look the same, your hair insists on telling its own truth. Imagine walking into a gathering where most people follow the same style. Without effort, your hair sets you apart, not because it tries to, but because it is the outward expression of your inner reality. You were never meant to disappear in sameness. This is why people notice. Some admire, some judge, some even envy. But the reaction is always there because your hair mirrors the truth they cannot ignore. It tells them that uniqueness is not a choice for you. It is your nature. Even at the roots, you were wired to stand out, reminding the world that authenticity can never be hidden. Number 8. It is a crown, not decoration. And this is why when people try to belittle it, what they are really attacking is your identity and your divine authority. Hair has always carried more meaning than people realize. In every culture, across every generation, it has been tied to dignity, strength, and presence. To reduce it to mere decoration is to miss the depth of what it represents. Think about how kings, queens, and warriors were portrayed throughout history. Their crowns or headpieces were never separate from the idea of hair, but built upon it, magnifying what was already there. Even today, when you look at someone's hair, you see more than strands. You see a statement of pride, individuality, and spirit. This is why careless comments about your hair often cut deeper than expected. When someone mocks or criticizes it, they are not just commenting on style. They are touching something sacred because your hair is tied directly to who you are. It is your natural crown, and attacking it is a way of trying to strip you of authority. Consider how many people feel renewed after a fresh style, or how many feel exposed when their hair is damaged or mishandled. It is never just about appearance. It is about the crown you carry, the visible reminder of your identity and your connection to something greater than yourself. Your hair commands respect because it is symbolic. It carries your lineage, your strength, and your essence. When others belittle it, they reveal their discomfort with your authority, because a true crown cannot be ignored. So treat your hair as more than surface beauty. Protect it, honor it, and wear it with the awareness that it is not decoration, but a crown. A crown that carries your identity, your story, and your divine authority wherever you go. Number 9. The struggle you sometimes feel with your hair mirrors the struggle with yourself. Patience, acceptance, and alignment bring peace with both. Anyone who has ever wrestled with their hair knows the frustration. It does not always cooperate. Some days it seems to have a mind of its own, resisting every brush, every product, every style. Yet if you step back, you realize this is not just about hair. It is a reflection of the inner battles we all face. Think about it. When you're impatient with your hair, pulling and forcing it to behave, it feels like the same impatience you carry toward yourself when life does not flow as you expect. When you stand in front of the mirror, wishing your hair looked different, straighter, curlier, thicker, or longer, it mirrors those moments when you wish you were someone else, or that your path was easier. But just as with life, peace comes not from constant control, but from learning to work with what is naturally yours. The day you stop fighting your hair and begin to understand its texture, its rhythm, and its needs is the day styling becomes easier. The same happens within. When you learn patience with yourself, when you accept your own rhythms, and when you align with who you truly are, life begins to flow more peacefully. A woman who takes time to understand her hair discovers that care and consistency bring results. The same is true with the soul. You cannot rush growth. You cannot force transformation overnight. You nurture it, give it time, and watch it unfold. So the next time you find yourself in a tug-of-war with your hair, pause and listen. It is teaching you something deeper. The struggle is not your enemy. It is your guide, reminding you that patience, acceptance, and alignment will always lead you back to peace with both your hair and yourself. Number 10. Your hair thrives on freedom. It hates boxes, restrictions, chemicals, and forced shapes because your spirit also hates captivity. Hair, in its purest form, reflects what is natural to you. When it is pressed, bent, or suffocated with too much control, it pushes back. It resists because deep down, it was created to move, to grow, and to flow in its own rhythm. Think about how uncomfortable it feels to wear shoes that are too tight. You might get through the day, but every step reminds you that your feet were never designed to be trapped. Your hair works the same way. When it is locked into unnatural shapes or drowned in harsh treatments, it becomes brittle, lifeless, or uncooperative. It is its way of saying, "This is not who I am." The truth is, your spirit works the same way. You cannot thrive when you are boxed into expectations that do not fit you. Just as your hair becomes dull under captivity, your soul dims when it is forced to play small. And just as your hair comes alive when given space to breathe, so does your spirit when it is allowed to live in truth. Look at the joy of hair that has been set free. Curls bouncing back after years of straightening, or natural texture reclaiming its strength after damage. It is the same joy you feel when you finally step out of roles that were never meant for you. So treat your hair as a reminder. It was never created to be forced into molds that suffocate it. It was designed for freedom. And the more you honor that freedom, the more it reflects back in strength, vitality, and beauty. Just as your spirit grows when it is free, your hair flourishes when it can simply be what it was always meant to be. Number 11. Your hair attracts stares because it carries light. It does not matter whether it is long, short, coiled, or straight. People sense something sacred about it. There is a glow that goes beyond simple appearance. Some may not even understand why they are drawn to it, but what they are seeing is more than strands. They are witnessing a reflection of inner radiance that shines outward. Think about how a flame pulls the eyes of everyone in a dark room. It does not ask for attention, but it is impossible to ignore. Your hair works in a similar way. When it moves freely, when it reflects the natural essence of who you are, it becomes a visible extension of your spirit. People cannot look away because on some level they feel the energy it carries. This is why two people can wear the exact same hairstyle, but the effect will never be identical. For one, it might look like just another style, but for another, it carries a weight, a light, a sacredness that makes it unforgettable. That difference comes from the life force running through the strands. It comes from the truth of the one wearing it. Have you ever noticed how children reach out instinctively to touch hair that fascinates them? They are not thinking about trends or standards. They are simply drawn to the energy. Adults do the same, though often in quieter ways, stealing glances or lingering longer than expected. Your hair is not just a feature of your body. It is a crown that radiates what words cannot always express. When people stare, it is not vanity at play. It is recognition. They sense that what they see is more than beauty. It is light, and that light cannot be copied, imitated, or dimmed because it is rooted in who you are at your deepest level. Number 12. Your hair is a fortress, protecting your identity while keeping shallow eyes, guessing what lies beyond the surface. Think about it. Not everyone deserves to know the depths of who you are. In a world where people rush to judge based on what they see at first glance, your hair becomes the first line of defense. It gives them something to focus on while you quietly guard the parts of yourself that are not meant for everyone. For a Sigma female, hair is not just about beauty. It is about boundaries. Imagine walking into a family gathering or a workplace where everyone has opinions about what you should look like. Some may say your hair should be straighter, curlier, shorter, longer, colored, or trimmed to fit their idea of you. But your hair is not their project. It is a shield that lets them assume what they want while you remain unmoved, protecting the truth of who you are. Think of your hair like curtains in a home. Outsiders may see the window but not the life happening inside. In the same way, people may admire or criticize your hair, but they can never read the full story of the woman behind it unless you allow them in. That is the power of this fortress, and here is what makes it even more fascinating. Those who only see the surface are left guessing. They cannot quite place you, they cannot predict you, and that unsettles them. Your hair keeps them on the outside while you remain grounded and unshaken on the inside. So understand this. Your hair is not just a style choice. It is a protective wall that guards your identity, keeping what is sacred from being exposed to shallow eyes. In final words, have you ever stopped to think about what your hair is really saying about you? It is not just about style or appearance. It is a living reflection of your journey, your spirit, and your strength. Every strand carries stories, signals, and secrets that only you can fully understand. Your hair has been with you through seasons of growth, loss, transformation, and renewal. It has marked your shifts, whispered your truths, and carried the codes of those who came before you. So when you struggle with it, remember that it is not just rebellion you are facing. It is a mirror teaching you patience, self-acceptance, and the power of letting things be what they are meant to be. When it flourishes, it is showing you that your soul is also flourishing. When it feels heavy, it is reminding you to rest. When it surprises you with sudden changes, it is often reflecting the deeper transitions happening within. Your hair is not a decoration. It is not an accessory that exists only to please outside eyes. It is a crown, an archive, a prophet, a symbol of freedom and resilience. It carries light. It carries memory. It carries you. So walk forward knowing this truth. Care for it with love, not just with products, but with presence. Protect it the way you protect your spirit. And never forget that even in its most untamed state, it tells a story of divine authority and sacred beauty. Your hair is more than enough because it is part of who you are, and who you are was never meant to be ordinary. Thank you for watching The Rare Gems, and God bless you.